Hello, this is Joe Pryor of the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, a part of Redbud Realty and Associates. I want to talk about sometimes problems with attorneys when it comes to doing short sales. And, this is not a rant. This is not to blame all attorneys for everything. But honestly, there's about, I think, sometimes 5 minutes of real estate covered in law school. Most of the time that's contract law, but it doesn't really delve deeply into real estate. I think part of the reason is there's not a lot of money in real estate, and so it's never been emphasized. So, when I get bad advice or when somebody gets bad advice from an attorney, I think that's as bad as it is getting misdiagnosed by a doctor or having a realtor not doing their job properly. Now, I can tell you this, I don't try to be an accountant, I don't try to be an attorney when I'm dealing with you on a short sale. What I try to be is someone that does this, specially trained, knowing the rules, keeping updated on it constantly. And I want to give you an illustration of where attorneys can really, I think, guide you in the wrong direction. And I want to caution you about this. I had a client that I've been talking to for quite a while, and they had a first mortgage that they were hugely behind on. In fact, I was surprised they hadn't been foreclosed on. And they had a second mortgage. Well, the first mortgage was with a big national company. The second mortgage was with a local company, a credit union. And they had been up to date on that, but it was a credit union I knew that was very difficult but not impossible to deal with. And what we offered is what we normally do, which is a short sale. Of course, we cannot guarantee success. We cannot guarantee anything according to federal rules, but we do have anecdotally over 100 successful short sales with a 95% success rate in the last 3 years. And so we've come up against a lot of problems. Now, in this particular case, we explained to them that they wanted to do a short sale, the big national company. In fact, they'd even given them an incentive, a cash incentive to do it. The second mortgage was going to be very, very difficult to deal with, but the first mortgage company was going to give the second mortgage company to release. And so we kind of went on and around it, and we kind of go, what's going on here? Then I get a call saying, well, the attorney basically said that we should just give the property back to the lender. And I said, well, that's fascinating. Why did they say that? And they said, oh, nobody's going after deficiency judgments, even though Oklahoma's a deficiency state. And they're not sending a 1099 at all to the IRS, so we might as well just give it back. You were right about the deed in lieu with the second mortgage. We can't do a deed in lieu. Well, I proceeded to explain two situations in the last year. One of which was where they didn't release, and then they sued the seller for the deficiencies successfully. In most cases, the deficiencies are released. In this one case, it wasn't. And so they had to make an agreement on the deficiency judgment. The other was the fact that I had an investor that did short sales on 2 homes. Investors are not exempt from the Mortgage Indebtedness Relief Act that says, if you're an owner-occupant and you do a short sale, you don't owe any taxes. And I had explained to this particular person that they had gotten in the 3-4 months after the short sale $60,000 worth of income on 1099 that was from the first and second mortgages on those loans. And we'd had other situations where people had called us and say, look, I got a $30,000 tax bill from the IRS. Believe me, 1099s are being sent to the IRS. The only way you can avoid that is a short sale before the end of the year. Yet this attorney was willing to give very, very bad advice. And understand that, if I have somebody with a tremendous amount of debt, not just a housing debt, but credit card debt, third-party debt, tax liens, everything else, they're being overwhelmed, then what I'm going to do as a realtor is say, look, I'm not an attorney, but I think you ought to talk to a bankruptcy attorney and look at your options about all of this debt. Because that is something you may need to think about, and I want you to have the right advice. But in this particular case, this lawyer, in my opinion, did a terrible disservice to these people, mainly because it's very simple. Looking at the numbers that they have, knowing that this second mortgage company is very aggressive about lawsuits, just in the tax implications alone in their tax bracket, I saw at least $28,000 that the IRS was going to assess them. And basically what was going to happen is if once they got that 1099, and that was income declared to the IRS, and that's taxable, and that's taxes, you can't bankrupt that out. Now, they could bankrupt themselves immediately, but there was no reason for it. So understand this. I want to talk to you about doing a short sale at no cost And I'm going to give you honest answers about what can and cannot be done. I'm going to tell you what obstacles we're up against, and I want to tell you about the success stories we've had in similar situations to let you make a decision. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to charge you money and then try to tell you something that's not true, because what that attorney said was absolutely not true. I had it in black and white. These people didn't want to believe it. That's fine, but they are in for a tough ride in the future. So if you are a financially distressed person and all it really looks like is that you need to get out of that house and you have a hardship and you do not have to declare bankruptcy in order to do it, a short sale is a tremendous way to do it. Remember that the loss to the lender is about 50% more in foreclosure, and that tax bill is going to come due. Everybody I've been dealing with has been telling me they are getting a 1099, but with the short sale documents, they do not have to pay. So get your advice properly. Understand that if you need advice from a real estate attorney, we'll send you to reputable people that we know of that have done a study of real estate and understand real estate and know that what I'm telling you is the truth, but we'll give you legal advice. So that's what we want to do for you. We want to make a better life for your family in the future. We want to give you the real estate information that we know of, and we want to help you with other people if you need their help. So if you are a financially distressed homeowner in the Oklahoma City area, please call me. I beg you to call me to let me help you get out of a bad situation and get yourself into a better situation for you and your family. You owe your family that much. This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values at the speed of technology.